What's good, everybody? It's your boy Rob, and I'm back to give you my first 3 days with the Galaxy Note 20 Ultra. Now, let's start off by saying that this phone has probably been one of the most hyped and overly seen phones on YouTube of recent history. And this phone is actually worth all the hype. This is actually a great phone. Now let's start with the build quality. I love the square build of this phone. I love the new color choices they got out. That white phone with the gray camera trim is by far one of the best looking phones this year. And we pretty much got the iPhone waiting to come out to see if they can take that crown from Samsung right now. But by far, build quality, the glass back, the steel side frames, the square build. I prefer the square build of the Note over the regular Galaxy series. By far, much more comfortable in the hand, and the viewing angles are on point. Now, another thing that I don't like is the curved display with this phone so far. I mean, I'm kind of getting used to it. It's a signature look of Samsung. I kind of wish they would go more with a flat display like they did with some of their A series phones. I wish they would bring that back and bring that classic look back of older Note phones. But I guess the curved display is here to stay for at least maybe another generation of Note phones. The camera module, that's kind of a hit and miss. You know, I can understand why they made it a much larger camera setup. You want bigger sensors, you want the stabilization, all those things. You got a sensor in there that's able to produce 8K footage. So that area pretty much had to be a lot larger, just based on functionality alone. Another thing that kind of threw me off is the S Pen being moved to the left side of the phone. When I first started using this phone, I was constantly going to the right side of the phone, feeling for the S Pen slot. But I'm kind of slowly getting used to it. And in a lot of ways, it all depends on how much you use the S Pen, is how faster you will possibly get used to going from one side to the other. So with that being said, that's a small adjustment. That's something that has to be made by the user themselves. Now, the battery life, where we lost a little bit of the battery, I think we lost about 500 milliamps of battery size. How that translates may vary from person to person on how you use the phone. Are you a power user? If you're a medium user, and let's say, for example, you were coming home with 20 to 30% with the previous battery size, then with this battery size, you may not even notice the difference. So with that being said, though, if you're a power user, and let's say you were coming home just squeaking in at 5, 7, 8, 10%, then you may find that this smaller battery will be a hindrance to how you use the phone. So, that all varies. So it depends on how you use the phone. Keep in mind how you use your previous Notes, and then you can pretty much figure out how this battery is going to last you throughout your day. Display, the cameras. Let's talk about the cameras. The cameras are getting to the point where, Samsung has kind of got great video. I kind of wish the softening, you could take that away. I think that, my boy, Mr. Eric Kelly, tech gentleman, said in a conversation we were having that he think that, he think that the way these cameras film and how they shoot pictures and what have you is a regional situation, meaning that, for example, here in North America, in America in general, we don't like the extra smoothness and processing that the Samsung camera does. But maybe in different regions of the world, that's something that's preferred. And based on, let's say, sales or just where they sell the most phones at, may be the way it dictates to the rest of the market how these cameras will produce pictures and video. So with that in mind, if that's, I haven't really heard anything from an official standpoint from Samsung, but if that's the case, I can understand some of that, that over processing that these cameras do. For the most part though, this is a great phone. I am thoroughly enjoying it, and I've always enjoyed the Note series, and I always feel like that the S Pen, I always expect a little bit more from the S Pen, and I think this year the S Pen has gotten a lot better. It's more so an app thing, a software standpoint, where you find the biggest improvements at. I haven't had a chance to use DeX, wireless DeX, so I'm going to try to give that a try in the coming weeks. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else I've forgotten or what have you. But for the most part, let me leave you with this. If you have a Note 10 and you're thinking about getting this phone, there's really no reason to do it. From a financial standpoint and from a software standpoint, there's not that much of a big difference. Camera-wise, it's not really worth jumping from a Note 10 Plus to a 20 Ultra. 5G hasn't really become a major factor of leaving one phone for another. If 5G was running like 4G, you may be tempted to make that move. But for the most part, I would recommend this phone for somebody who haven't had a Note device in a few years and who's dealing with a phone that's 3 years old, 2 to 3 years old. By all means, take a chance, spend a little money, treat yourself, get you a Note 20 Ultra. And the Note 20 itself, the regular one, I don't think you're losing too much from the Ultra. But either way, if you haven't had a Note in a while, go ahead and get it. But if you got a Note 10 Plus or a Samsung S10 or the Samsung 20 and 20 Ultra Galaxy versions, don't make the move. Save yourself some money. Wait. You need probably something a little bit more, more of an advancement from a tech standpoint to really make these jumps from a year to year. And this year, this is just a minor bump up from the previous year. So that pretty much does it with my first 3 days with this phone. If you have any questions, please leave those down below. And also, if you like this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. And other than that, I'll catch everybody in the next video. I'm out.